Welcome to the Road to Redemption podcast with your host, Cam Williamson. Each week, Cam sets out to shatter the labels and stigmas associated with mental health awareness by giving life lessons and raw overviews of events happening around the world.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I'm, as always, your host, Cam Williamson. It's excellent to be back with you again today. You can tell by looking at the title of this video what we're talking about. You always can. It's worth saying it again. Ego death. Ego death is probably the most important thing in all of our journeys, spiritual journeys, just life journeys, if you don't consider yourself to be on a spiritual journey. But let's talk about ego death. Ego is something that's commonly thrown around. This person has a huge ego. This person is a narcissist because they're grandiose ego, right? We talk about ego so much. What is your ego? Your ego is your attachment to this world that we live in, right? So it's the defense of what you claim to be you. So if someone insults you as a parent, you say, F off. I'm a good parent. I do X, Y, and Z, and you defend your ego. You defend your reputation. You defend your name. You defend your status. Someone says, you did a shite job at this, that, or the other. You go, hey, man, I've been here for 15 years. I know way more about this than you. And you get all up in your ego, right? What about when it comes to our spiritual life? When we find spirituality, especially the non-traditional forms of it that aren't years and years and years and hundreds of years christened in ceremonies and credentialed people backing it, right? What if you're on your own journey and you find ego death, which now just means I've stripped away any structured religious beliefs I have. I don't lean on the government to tell me what's good for me and what's not. My parents aren't at a place where I listen to them for every decision that I make, and I have to stand on my own 2 feet. And I have to decide, what am I going to be as a person? Now, this oftentimes happens when people reach right around 30. They really have to look at their life and go, okay, here's where I am. I'm here. I'm either still living in my mom's house playing video games, or I've played the single game for this whole time, and sure, I've had good times, but it hasn't really led me to much, but to be the cool guy and tell funny stories and whatever. I got married and I've had kids, and that's been fulfilling in these areas. But then something usually sparks it where you go, I keep doing this to myself. I keep holding myself back in some way, and I keep presenting this side of myself that no longer serves me, and honestly, it's become revolting to who I am. Some of us will look at those sides of ourselves and go, okay, I'm making the choice for me to change this about myself, which can seem very selfish and very in your own ego. Well, this is all about me, self-love, self-care, my spiritual journey, my life, getting it under control for me. What happens is you start to notice that people around you, some, may have issues with this. And they go, wow, ego, narcissist, bah, 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 bah. And you start to get hit almost in reverse when all you're really trying to do is let go of all that you were so defensive of. You seem to then find what is clinging on to you. In things like twin flame journeys, or really just anything in life, we talk a lot about the more you run at something, the more you grasp at it, you're always just that far out of reach. But the second you kind of stop chasing it, and you stop making it fun for whatever that is that you're constantly chasing, this dream, this idea, this whatever, and you're able to sit in yourself and look at all the skills and all the tools you've developed to get through life and get through every crazy situation that life has put you through, and you go, well, that wasn't my name, and that wasn't the people I was in a relationship with, and that wasn't, anything exterior to myself but me. And that is an ego death, where it can almost feel like you lose love and passion for things in life because you don't attach to them in what I would have previously called passion. Yeah? Passion is not an excuse for poor behavior, right? Passion and love is not always enough to justify behavior, yeah? So when you get to an ego death place, oftentimes it's because you thought you were doing so many things out of love, out of passion, and you probably dipped your toe into the realm of finding other people that are similar to what you wanted to be and started to occupy those type of lifestyles, routines, things like that. But then I saw it big with Gary Vee. When everyone jumped on this Gary Vee train, everyone wanted to be just like Gary Vee. I saw a lot of severe ego deaths coming because I saw all this identity crisis everywhere we looked. Social media was blowing up, and I saw how artificial everything was becoming. And this was about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. When you can look now and look through the pandemic and through everything else that people have gone through, systems are crumbling all around us, religious beliefs, people are shedding those left and rights, people are standing on their own, they're starting their own companies, they're not leaning on people's, hope of retirement checks that may be there when you're 60 or whatever. People are really trying to gain their own power back, and in doing that, you can really only be honest with yourself, and you have to look and see that you have not created everything that you've created on your own, ever. It's one of the things I hate to hear the most in songs, like, I did it all on my own. Well, that's impossible. Outside of like a few people like DJ Jazzy Jeff, I just read Will Smith's book recently, who he really didn't need Will Smith. He would have been massive on his own. It just so happened that the universe collided and put them together to where the notoriety became what it was. But Jazzy Jeff was such a talented DJ, and he had such little ego about it, but he was so self-confident in himself that when he showed up, the universe just served. That's how it works. That's how... And you learn a very important lesson through an ego death, which is not that you can't attach to anything in this world. I forget the guy's name. It was like Mateo something or other. He was just on Aubrey Marcus' podcast. And he was talking about you can't... There's a big talk in the spiritual community right now about like the 3D is ending and the 5D is beginning, and we're in this new 5D reality and all the... Okay, those are people that are kooks, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? You live in the 3D world. That's this. That's what this is, okay? It's the reason I can be here with you today, because I can manifest physically and record it. We have this amazing technology that I could broadcast it to you, right? The point that Mateo said is you can't reach the 5D, which is levels of consciousness, where you can strip away your ego, accept life for what it is in its totality of what you understand and what you don't. And that's reaching the 5D where you can almost start to create things in your 3D, where that's law of attraction, manifestation, stuff like that, if you so choose to believe in it. But if nothing else, the 5D is an energy state. It is not and will not be what you experience here. And he said, if you cannot love the 3D, you can never truly be in the 5D, which makes so much sense, because if you are not grateful for everything you see around you, then you're not really able to be in its true essence. And then you can't experience it enough to then go and meditate and be in the 5D that people call it. And and harness those energies and be of the understanding of how the world works enough to really visualize long enough to bring it into fruition in your real life. It takes time. It takes mental energy. It takes effort, and it takes honesty. The other thing that people don't understand in ego death is it takes a very long time to battle with yourself. You sit inside of yourself for so long going, I feel this way, but I shouldn't feel this way. And I'm okay with this, but I shouldn't be okay with this. And this is who I am, and this isn't who I should be. And this, if I am this way, then this person won't like me. And if I do this, then these people won't accept me. And it's all these different things. And you have to go, but what if I don't care anymore? What if the only thing I care about is doing what I believe to be right in my life? What if I just did that? And what if I made a promise to myself and the universe that I don't hurt anybody, I don't go out of my way to be selfish or do things that are only of my gain, but I find ways to always help anyone I can, right? That's unity, and that's self-love, and that's really channeling the energy of why we're all here, which is to collectively get better. Collectively figure out what's the best we can be, not what's the best 2 or 3 people can be. And then just ooh and all over that. And it's realizing that some of us, are cut out for the work that it takes to try to make a difference. And an ego death will also show you that you may not be it, right? And we all have to face down that fact. But it's who you are as a person and what your soul is made of that will dictate what comes of this world for you. What impact do you make? Because you could want really bad to be the next biggest pop star, but if that's just not in your honesty, if that's not who you are, then you got to do the soul searching, and you got to go through the painful shit that people call as the dark night of the soul, and you got to really strip away. What's all the bullshit I built up in my head, and why do I care about having all these fans look at me and all this and all that? Then you really start to go, oh man, I'm getting somewhere here. I don't care so much about what all these people think, and I don't care. And then people will start to say, wow, his guy's selfish and he's all this. He only cares about what he cares about. But then you look, and if you just block out all that noise and you look at what we call the parts of the garden you can reach, look at the things you're actually doing in your life, they always start to get exponentially better. Because you're devoting the right time and energy in the right places. And you're not just out doing shit for attention and to make appearances and to put on facades, and you're not just wasting time, which is something none of us should ever do on this earth because we don't have a lot of it. So that's ego death as best as I can explain it to y'all. I love you. Happy Martin Luther King Day to you. If you guys got the day off, I hope you're spending it with family. Some severe weather spread through the nation. We got a little bit of snow, nothing crazy here. I hope you guys are doing well with it. If you are stuck in the house, check out the Road to Redemption podcast.com. Check out our merch store. Grab some gear, become an official member of the team, and rock it with pride. And check out past episodes. Thumbs up this one. If you made it all the way, subscribe, hit the bell to see everything. I don't know why I always point one way when the bell usually pops up right here, but unimportant. Love you guys.